If I cut too many, then there'll be wind.
Yeah. There's always a compromise.
I might cut a few.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1, 2, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But I do pretty good with this the way it is anyway. So
Cool. All right, so I guess I can turn it off for now. And
that direction, if it catches on, it could be all over the place, right?
yeah, that's what it's.
Yeah, especially in this area.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of land here,
Yeah.
and it's very fertile, and it's also very cheap, at least now.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
And I mean, in comparison to a lot of places, it is kind of well, like Toronto or whatever.
Well, Toronto,
Yeah. Or even the Greenbelt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's viable to make intentional communities here, and the idea is to make scalable intentional communities. So often intentional communities, the issue is that a lot of them are not scalable. They're usually focused on about like one either like a single individual or like a single place kind of thing, and they don't usually have a plan for expanding. Like Twin Oaks. Twin Oaks did actually manage to expand after a while. So they made a little another community called Acorn. So Twin Oaks is everyone works, I think, 60 hours a week or 48 hours a week. I don't know. It's like it's a lot. And so it's very kind of structured and very kind of rigorous.
And people are happy there?
Yeah, people are generally like pretty happy because you get a roof over your head. The work is stable, you know.
And it's enjoyable work?
Enjoyable, yeah. Like a lot of the work is like, you know, washing dishes, looking after someone's kids, you know.
All
like,
right,
it's
so
like
it's the community work.
yeah. Like some of it is the way they make money is selling hammocks.
All right, so they don't get paid any wages for their work. They just everybody has responsibilities.
Exactly.
Chores.
So it's like a commune in that sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you know, so for like a lot of people, that's more stable than the American economy. Or whatever.
It is for sure because the increase in street people.
Yeah,
is incredible. How many people are on the street? You know,
in America.
and they're well, even in Toronto, big cities. There's homeless people, and they mostly have mental issues.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't get the proper help, and they're looked down on. And how are they ever going to get out of that situation?
It's tough.
It's very difficult.
It's tough. Apparently, I've been told this story several times that what they like to do, well-meaning social workers, give them a bus ticket to Owen Sound.
Oh, I've heard stories about that. Owen Sound has actually taken on people from different cities.
Yeah.
Like they've been given money to take these homeless people.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Away from Toronto and other cities.
And then the housing is cheaper here, so.
Yeah, but they still don't treat them the way they should.
Yeah.
It seems.
Well, I don't know. They seem pretty happy. Like I know.
Yeah.
I was.
What was that big protest a few years ago on the street there on 2nd Avenue?
Oh, that was
taking away their shelter.
Yeah. Well, that's because apparently no one was paying for the shelter. So.
Well, what do you mean no one was? Shouldn't the city be paying for it?
Apparently, it was not a city shelter. It was a
private.
It was a private shelter, and no one was paying for it. So.
So the owner said, "Get out."
So, exactly, and then they did the
Well,
whole.
Still, the city should have stepped in and got them. Maybe they did, right? Or did they?
Oh no, I don't think they did. It got closed.
But where did they place the homeless people?
They had to rent places, like with welfare or shared accommodation, stuff like that. Well, I mean, it did work for some people. Like I know a guy who kind of helped manage a halfway house for these kinds of homeless people.
Yeah. And
they also sleep outside and stuff. But yeah, like having intentional communities could help with that, and like obviously the mental health issues could be an issue, and that's why we're doing the
I think they just
meditation course.
Need friends.
And
connections.
Friends and connections.
That's what they need.
Yeah, and going to like Jawenim gathering can
Jawanin?
Jawenim, it means forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love.
Is that what you?
Well, it's actually an Ojibwe word.
Oh, is it?
Because it's kind of a universal concept, but the only language that I know which has a single word for it is Ojibwe.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm using. Oh, I need to charge this. And hopefully the camera won't get too hot. Hope. All right. There. Because it was 6% battery. Okay. And then, yeah. So for a lot of people, you know, well, what are the basic needs? They need shelter, food, water, and like a social group.
Social group, yeah.
And so intentional community can provide all of those.
Yeah. That would be good, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people that would have, say, some mental issues, how would they be dealt with?
So if they pass the course, then their issues are probably not that bad.
Oh, right.
So they would work with, they'd be able to work with the intentional community. Because I mean, in order to pass the course, you have to fill in a spreadsheet. Like for the health aspects, you'd have to exercise 3 times a week for at least 10 to 30 minutes.
And what about their diet? Are they going
to... You have to show a meal plan that meets all the nutritional guidelines that they are following.
But say they go off to the grocery store and they buy stuff that's bad, and are you going to look in their fridge?
So no, I'm not going to look in their fridge, but the important thing is that they know how to eat well, and they've tried it.
Okay.
Because a lot of people haven't done that, even that much.
Well, I think people get into a habit and then they can't get out of it. Whatever.
Oh, well, and the way you get out of a habit is by trying something new, right?
Yeah, it's always hard to get out of these bad habits.
Yeah. Well, it could be, but I mean, it's how we frame it. We could say it's easy to stop having bad habits.
Yeah, we could say that. Yeah. I guess the group support is a big thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
if you hang around people that have good habits, then you're going to develop good habits.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Exactly.
Talk to positive people, you're going to become a positive person. So.
Exactly. And at the Jawenim gatherings, it's like everyone's has their own challenges with either developing a healthy diet or developing a regular meditation practice or doing the physical exercise or maybe the budgeting.
Yeah, the budgeting.
Yeah, so that, and then everyone can, if someone has a problem, they can voice it at the gathering, and then other people can help. So other people may have had similar problems, and so they can talk about it. And then since we have the 360 videos, then people can benefit from it even if they don't go.
Exactly.
Even if they just watch it.
So that's the school over there, Mennonite School. That little building that just went up.
Oh, the Mennonite School.
Yeah, it just went up over the winter, and they just opened it.
Oh, okay.
So there's students there.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a nice little. See, there's a sign. This is Mount Hope School.
Mount Hope School.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mount Hope is actually the next road over.
Oh, okay. I guess it just sounded nicer.
Yeah, it sounds nicer. This is actually considered Dunblane. The ghost town of Dunblane, and then there's the ghost town of Mount Hope. There's all these ghost towns around here, right?
Oh, okay.
And down the other side of this road is Ebenezer.
Ebenezer.
Yeah. So.
Sounds Hebrew or something.
Is that Hebrew? I think maybe it is.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a Mennonite related thing.
Yeah, well, it's just the sign is there. It used to be a town at one time, right? And all these little towns, they were all made of wood and they burnt down way back when. So.
Oh, okay. I see.
So we're going to take a different way this time.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so
Sure.
we'll go by my friend's place. Is just around the corner, next road over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the guy that just bought my other friend's place because he passed away. This friend of mine that I've known for more than 30 years passed away, and he had a farm over here.
Okay.
And this friend of mine just bought it, so he just took possession just about a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Great.
you'd like him. He's thinking in that direction too. About the intentional community and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like the whole rat race thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's from Syria.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
his whole family escaped Syria.
That's great.
What's going on there? Even his mother. Actually, his mother, because she's not a citizen, and now she has Alzheimer's.
Oh,
They have to take care of her, and she's in a really bad state. So
okay.
there's a lot of siblings that they share her, and so it's kind of a sad story that they can't get any help with her.
Oh, right.
'Cause
Yeah, I know one thing that's good for. Selenium was good for mercury. Oh, silica. That's what it is.
silica, yeah.
Biosilica.
I was actually just talking about that with my girlfriend last time I Skyped with her, and she bought a big pail of it, right? And she uses it for bugs in the garden too.
Oh, okay.
And cockroaches. It kills cockroaches.
Silica?
Yeah, because it gets
Isn't
stuck.
silica just sand?
Yeah, exactly. So you throw it on the ground, they go through it, right? And it sticks to their exoskeleton, and it dries them up, dehydrates them, and they die.
Oh, the silica balls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's silica in a pail. I don't know.
Okay.
She said it's sand or something. I don't know. Is it
Yeah,
balls?
I think that's a different kind of silica.
Is it? But she said no. She says it's sand. But you can eat it too. The same one that she uses to kill the bugs.
Oh, okay, weird.
She puts it in a shake, and it's good for your digestive system.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you never heard that?
Well, I know there was a company called Herbalife.
Yeah, I was a part of that.
Oh, okay.
For a little while.
Yeah. They had pink sand.
And that was
It was a
silica.
Yeah. But I'm talking about BioSil.
And what is that? This is good for your mind. You're saying?
So it's also good for your joints, but
Oh, okay.
Silica. So this BioSil, orthosilicic acid, is the full name of the.
So this is a place over here. They're working there. He's there right now.
Okay.
So that's him there.
Oh, okay. So is he a farmer?
No, he's a roofing consultant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
He's actually an architect by trade.
Oh, is someone else working the field then, or?
Yeah, somebody else bought the land. And
okay.
It was severed. So the people across the road that have the dairy, the same people that own the land next to me, bought the land there.
Oh, I see.
Because they have all the machinery and all that. So,
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
so he just has the house.
He has the house, the barn, the shop, and 2 acres.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So,
That should be enough to feed his family, anyways.
but he'd be interested in knowing about your idea about the intentional community and all that.
Yeah, because he could sit up with a permaculture forest garden.
Well, they love gardening. His wife is incredible at gardening.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. So, that's what I was saying about the people needing the shelter and the food, right? And historically, peasants had to work the fields.
Which is what my dad did.
In Eurasia.
Because he did it with a shovel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and obviously that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
However, in North America and South America, they had a completely different agricultural practice.
Okay.
And that.
Are you talking about the natives?
The natives.
Okay.
Yeah. So they instead used permaculture.
Okay.
So using trees and shrubs and tubers and herbs, and getting it to work as an ecology.
All right.
So much of the Amazon, for instance, was found to be planted by humans.
Oh, everything that's in the Amazon was planted?
Not everything.
But a lot of the stuff.
Like a lot of it, yeah. A lot of it was planted by humans long, long ago. Because they can tell because of the distribution of the things that are growing there, So the edible trees that humans use are a much higher proportion than would be if they had not been cultivated specifically. So, and actually they found that it was the same thing in say the east, northeast, like the Iroquois, the 7 tribes or whatever.
All right.
And so they had chestnut-based agriculture, American chestnut.
Mm-hmm.
So American chestnut is apparently like very sweet and all those things. It's just that it all died because of the chestnut blight.
All right.
Which came from Eurasia. So that's why you don't see all those chestnut groves anymore. But up here, I think it was black walnut based.
Up here it was a lot of black walnut.
So it was the tallest canopy trees were the black walnuts probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because there's still black walnuts all over the place.
Yeah, they do well here.
Yeah, they do very well here. And so, like up here, like black walnuts and sunflower potatoes or Jerusalem artichokes, and other things like that, working together. And that way, like when a person like walks out of their house, they don't have to till the fields every year.
Yeah.
Because it's just growing on the trees and the shrubs. The effort is in harvesting and maintaining. And that is much lower than having to like say plow a whole field like this.
Oh yeah, it's a waste of energy, and then you got to pray that the weather's going to be good and everything.
Exactly. Whereas in a permaculture forest garden setting, you have many different potential sources of calories.
Yeah.
And so even if one crop fails, you have other crops that are going to make up for it.
Well, I think I need to. One day we'll take a trip to Fiddlehead Nurseries. If you'd like to go there, it's on 40.
Oh, okay.
I heard the guy speak at one of those green events, right? Really interesting. He's all into that permaculture, and he sells the actual plants.
Oh, great.
It's a nursery, right?
Mm-hmm,
so
yeah.
He can talk forever. He talks for about an hour nonstop.
Awesome.
And people were totally interested in this stuff, like asking questions and everything. So
yeah. We could do a 360 video.
Yeah. So and that's all he eats, just the stuff that he grows.
Yeah.
That's all he eats. Yeah.
So it's the similar idea. It's just like minimal input, and so they have their basic needs met. And the homes that were used around here were usually wigwams.
What's the wigwam? Is that like a teepee or?
A wigwam it's somewhat different than a teepee, but it has some similarities. It's also made of wood, and it has birch bark for the roof.
And that acts as an insulator as well?
Yeah, and that acts as an insulator. But also another thing that was common in the Northeast was earth lodges.
Oh, you mentioned that before. Right?
Yeah.
I remember you were saying.
Yeah, so what's great about earth lodges is that the temperature stays pretty much the same all year round, close to whatever the soil temperature is, and around here it's about 10 degrees Celsius.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's fairly comfortable. It's
Yeah.
a little cool, but it's...
Yeah, it is.
But it's actually good for you, I think.
Yeah. It's great for sleeping.
Yeah.
And, I mean, technically that's... the house is mostly for.
But it wouldn't be damp. Is it a damp? 10 degrees Celsius, or is it?
No, humidity is independent of temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay,
like
so,
I mean,
would it be damp or in the ground? Like
it depends on how you make it. So
right.
if we do it in like
ventilation, if you have ventilation.
If you have ventilation or a dehumidifier, it's not going to get damp. Yeah. Another thing is we can use modern technology for making the homes like waterproof and with good insulation, right? And I mean that might cost a little more, but it could still be good. Like the main thing is that it meets whatever the regulations
the
are.
codes. Yeah. But once you do one, once somebody does it and goes through the permit process, then it becomes anybody can do it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we just have to go through it. So
Yeah, exactly. But even meanwhile, even like trailers or other kinds of temporary
tiny
shelters.
houses, which are
tiny houses.
There's a lot of in this area on Great Road 3. There's a lot of Amish people that build sheds, and they have their own sawmills.
Mm-hmm.
We can get them to put it together. We can just even buy the kits, the wood already cut to pieces.
For tiny homes.
Yeah, for tiny homes or cabins or whatever. It's a lot more cost effective. If you have to go and do it all yourself, they have the wood, they do it, and you develop a relationship with them, a business relationship, and those are good people to deal with.
Great.
Right?
Great.
That's the way to go.
Awesome. Yeah. So we can do that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of the gist. And in terms of the robots, so that would be mostly for like if because we still need to have some kind of income.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just to buy the basics.
The basics of like for basic trade and property tax.
Oh yeah, that.
That kind of stuff. And to do that, we need to have a business.
Well, there could be a number of businesses.
Yeah, there's many opportunities,
especially with a health. Go in that direction of health,
right?
Massage, whatever. Is there any kind of therapy? There's a lot of different therapies we can get into.
Yeah. So it just there's lots of aspects to managing a business successfully, and in order to make this scalable, we basically have to make it so that pretty much anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So having like a system that can help you set up advertising, walk you through setting up a business, registering a business, and that kind of stuff. So the AI or the robot can help with that, all of that stuff. To make sure it's successful.
All right.
And if you have several of these communities, then and the robots are communicating to each other, then they could easily see where they're you can connect the supply chain. So say for instance someone like the Mennonites are making those tiny homes, and it's like someone else wants tiny homes.
The Amish,
or the Amish. You connect
they're,
them together.
They're a little bit different. Yeah. Usually people just group them together, but they're different. Yeah.
Well, the Amish are kind of
they're
split off of Mennonites.
Well, they don't have electricity. They're more down to basics. They don't have a phone. And if you want to find someone to do something for you, you have to know one of them, and then if they like you, then they'll recommend this guy to you. It's all word of mouth. Nobody advertises. I found this little sawmill hardware over on 3. There's no sign or anything.
Oh, okay.
I found it because a friend of mine took me there, but now I know that it's there. Otherwise I wouldn't know it's there.
Wow.
So it's hardware, it's a sawmill, and I went there asking for if anybody wants to buy my pine, and they said, well, I know this guy down the road. So he showed me where it is, and I went by there, and there's no sign there either.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's just, that's how they work.
That's how they work, eh?
Yeah, which is actually quite good.
Right.
It's
and with augmented reality, you could overlay signs. Because I know some municipalities have sign restrictions.
Okay.
For sizes and stuff like that.
But we could have a number of small businesses there. And you can even have a market there. Where one day everybody just said, well, there's a market here. I don't know what it takes to do that, to hold a market on a property.
I don't think it takes anything
I don't think
special.
it takes very much. I know a couple that started their own market over in Tiverton, so I can ask them what it takes. It's not that complicated. That way it attracts people to the place.
There's definitely many opportunities. And I know basically humans are very they're made of liquid.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
And so we often have lots of great ideas, but following through and making sure day after day that we do a little bit to help us realize what it is. Sometimes a little help goes a long way with
Well,
that.
even just someone that says that's a great idea,
Yeah,
right? It
Yeah.
motivates you to go with it
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of
It's true.
people saying, "Oh, that's a dumb idea," and then you think, "Oh, maybe it is."
Oh,
You
yeah.
have doubts, right? And that's
Right,
it.
right. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
You deflate.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? We
for
want
sure.
people that are going to boost each other up, right?
It's
I
true.
think that's
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to have supportive atmosphere. Yeah, but also want to have people that are honest. You know.
honest and say, well, okay,
Yeah.
that's
'Cause, I mean, like, if
maybe
it-
that's not the greatest, but maybe do this, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, okay, but in a constructive way,
yeah,
though, too.
yeah. And that's one of the reasons I'm using, or we're using Robert's Rules for the Jawanim gathering.
Robert's rules?
Yeah, Robert's Rules. Have you heard of it?
No.
So Robert's Rules is about 200 years old, and it is the kind of go-to document for managing large meetings. Any kind of meeting that is more than about 6 people.
That's large.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So like, if you have more than about 6 people talking together,
Yeah,
then-
it can get out of hand.
then you usually need a chair.
All right.
A chair to say, okay, this guy's been talking for a while. Okay, now someone else has a turn. You know.
I see.
And then when you get to 12 or 15 people, then you need like a more elaborate set of rules.
Okay.
And just like for voting and things like that, because like getting everyone to agree is not possible when you have more than like 10 people. Getting a consistent consensus is almost impossible.
All right.
So Robert's Rules has, it's over 200 years. I think the book is in the 11th edition right now, and it's very, very fair. So just about anything you might, any issue you might come up with in a meeting, they have an answer for it that is like very equitable and makes everyone happy.
Oh.
Yeah. So, say for instance, there's so how it usually goes is someone has an idea, and then if someone else in the room also likes that idea, they say second. I second that idea.
Okay.
And so if there's a second, then it's time to ask if there's any objections to the idea, and then if there's objections, then we go into debate to deliberate about the idea and whether it's worth doing or not. And then the chair selects person. So first, the person who had the idea in the first place gets to talk for 2 minutes, and then someone who's opposed to the idea talks, and then again someone for the idea. And then if someone could call that, call the previous question, which means to call a vote. And then, so someone can propose, okay, we've been talking about this for 20 minutes. I say that we vote on it, okay? So that's, and then, so if 2/3 of the people in the room want to vote on it, then we can vote on it.
Okay.
And then it either passes or it doesn't pass.
So the idea, like, what kind of idea are we talking about? In what respect? Something that affects the whole group?
So
For the community?
yeah, generally, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So something that affects the whole group generally. So, say for instance, we want to change our website to have a logo, this new logo.
All right.
Okay, then that would be something, or like the climate action team, we do that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Or we, I try to get them to do it.
So what happens if someone gets out of hand? Starts to press their insistent on
So
pushing their.
the idea is that it doesn't generally come to that because
It
of
shouldn't.
Robert's rules.
Yeah.
Because as long as they're conforming to the process, things stay reasonably in control. Like one of the problems, like a lot of people are for the whole consensus model, which is like, or consent, which is basically 100% voting. So 100% of people have to be in favor for anything to happen.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. And that can easily get out of hand if you have more than 10 people or more than even 6 people. It can easily get out of hand because often people do not, you can't get everyone to agree. And then one person can hold up the whole organization. So it gives one person way too much power.
Too much control, yeah. For sure.
And so that's why the Roberts Rules has voting, and like 2/3 voting, or
It's
like
called
1/2 voting.
the Roberts Rule or the
Roberts Rules.
Rules, okay.
Yeah, because there's many.
Roberts Rules, okay.
It's like 600 pages. But there's also a Roberts Rules in Brief, which is only 200 pages, and only the first 100 pages are like the introduction. Like if you read the first 100 pages,
then you gotta just figure it
you
out.
probably got to figure it out for like 90% of
common sense,
cases.
really, right?
Well, it's just like so. Well, I don't know about common sense because like
it makes sense if you read the first
it makes
100
sense.
pages.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
If it makes sense once you read the first 100 pages, and the next 100 pages are about how to reference the other book.
All right. So you've read the whole thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I read the whole. I read about 3/4 of the Roberts Rules, the whole book. I mean, the big one.
All right. And what stopped you from reading the whole thing?
It was just a time limit.
Nice.
Because I had 1 week to read the whole thing.
Okay.
And so I at first I was reading it like just from start to finish, and then I got about like I don't know, maybe 1/3 of the way through, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna finish before Thursday, so I'm gonna read the sections that I need, and I read another like 1/3 or maybe half of the book, just reading the sections that I needed. Because I was tasked with holding the elections.
Oh, this was
for the climate action team.
I see.
And so I needed to know how to do that. And so I read all about the elections and how the committees work. Because we had committees, but people didn't even know what to call them. Like they were like, should we call them groups? Should we call them socials? Or
All right.
So I read it, and like it explains everything, and everything makes
Is this
sense.
part of the thing that goes on every Friday?
No, well, it's somewhat related. Like the climate action team meets the 3rd Thursday of the month, and David Walton is the current president.
Okay.
And he usually he has a lot of connections, and he usually organizes a panel. So that there's usually kind of like a presentation where someone comes and visits, and from the city or the municipality or for some businesses, and does a presentation, and there's questions, and then after that we have our little kind of session. But sometimes we have just like a pure session, and then like just the hardcore members show up.
All right.
Yeah. But when we have those panels, it's like hundreds of people.
Because they want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, exactly. And so some of the climate action members helped organize the climate strike activities.
Okay.
For the I videotaped them put them on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with climate action and problem with the environment, isn't that just a lifestyle change? Basically, we just got to change the way we live, the way we do business. That's really what it's all about.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
What the sustainable version is kind of the intentional communities, the permaculture, because this kind of agriculture is not sustainable, unfortunately.
Well, when I was growing up, my whole neighborhood, everybody had a garden, like a vegetable garden in their backyard. Yeah. And slowly that disappeared. Yeah. And then even my friends, they never got into it. They said, oh, we should go to the grocery store. But now everybody's going back to it because the price of vegetables is so high.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a trend now again. And a lot of people don't know how to garden.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And I think that's the number one thing that people should be taught. especially in schools. Teach kids how to garden and how to cook.
Right.
Number one.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they're not teaching them that because
Home economics is gone. Home economics, that used to be a class. I don't know if it was when you were in school.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't take it.
No, you didn't take it. No, but that was mostly for girls anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my wife might have taken it. Yeah. She told me that they had a class that included childcare or something.
Yeah.
And there was a very very cryy baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that
that's
always
right.
needed something.
Yeah, I think my daughter had that baby. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In the school.
That wasn't my daughter. No. It was,
Oh, it's okay. Anyways, but yeah, hopefully the AI will be able to teach them all of the things they need to know in order to make the sustainable intentional communities. You know, like I know, like say for instance, if we to make it like really scalable, the best idea would be if someone like in a different country that speaks a different language could download it and it could explain to them how to do it.
yeah.
You know, like for instance, how to go and talk to your municipality about zoning. You know,
But this has been done before, right? But in a different way. The intentional community, so it's been done, but in a different way.
Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, like Twin Oaks and some of the other like Findhorn and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They usually are focused about one intentional community, and there's no way of kind of reproducing the intentional communities. So
But they have a life of their own once they start, I think.
they do, but they max out at about 100 people or 150 people because
Alright.
that's as much as you can have in an intentional community. So they're never all that huge, since they just can't support all that many people because of the limits of human cognition.
Okay.
So you need to have many intentional communities if you're going to have lots of people doing this. And so that's why it needs to be scalable and easy for many different people to do.
I think energy would be a big part of it too, like a microgrid.
Yeah, like off-grid,
if
like
you can
solar,
produce
wind.
your own energy, then you pretty much have it made. You can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
With an electric car, you can travel, charge your car up and do whatever.
Yeah.
Like I saved this article. I've had it for a while. It was Off-Grid magazine, and there was a guy in the States somewhere. He converted an old tractor to an electric tractor.
Oh, okay.
So and it works perfectly. He just took all of the motor out and put batteries there, and he's got an electric motor, and he even has the 3-point hitch working and everything, and he uses all the usual machinery, right? And he goes for lunch. He leaves it, and he's got panels for a roof on the tractor. So he leaves it. It's always in the field anyway, so it charges the batteries.
You're right.
Go for lunch for an hour, charges the batteries, and you go back to work.
Wow.
And it's a perfect idea. And there's a lot of old tractors around.
Yeah.
And it's easy to convert. So everybody can have a tractor that's charged by the sun, and you can work the fields. And what else do you need?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally doable.
Yeah. Tractors can be quite handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even in a forest setting.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. I like that there's still some trees.
Oh, you mean there's still some trees? Yeah. All the leaves are going to be gone soon by winter. Then you miss them over the winter. I always miss them.
The leaves.
The greenery, yeah.
Yeah. I guess, are there some pine trees or?
Over here, there's not that many pine trees.
Oh, okay.
My place there is.
Yeah. Well, they were planted there.
Yeah.
And you haven't had any problems with pine beetle or anything?
Somebody told me that the weevil beetle was one thing that attacked the pine trees when they first were planted. Some of them are bushed out, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But right now, there's a few trees that have some disease that have kind of died. Yeah, but not that many.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good because I know, like another guy, he had the pine borer or whatever,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it because so the government recommended that he plant pines because that's just their default recommendation. They just tell everybody to plant pine.
Yeah.
But now because of the pine borer, there's all these pine monocultures, and so it just gets in like one corner, and then it just spreads out, and after a few years, they're all dead.
Oh, and that's here in Ontario?
Yeah. He's a bit south of where you are.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
So they're all dead, just like that, in 1 year.
well,
Yeah.
no, it was a few years, but still, like,
Jeez.
it was basically like all waste.
So what did the trees look like after they were attacked by the beetle? Did you ever see them?
No, I didn't see them. I'm sure you could get videos, but I'm assuming they lose their needles.
Well, I have a couple of trees that have just sort of died. And they're like brown, and all the leaves are just...
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what they look like.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I mean, you could check. There's other reasons they might have died.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, they bore into it, so there would be like lots of little holes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can basically push it down, it just falls.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if there's a bunch of holes in it, then that would be indicative of some kind of pine borer.
But there is a lot of different diseases they get.
There
I know
are.
that,
Yeah, I mean, like pine trees are actually very sensitive.
Yeah.
They need to have a good mycosphere because they often are symbiotic with the fungi, mycorrhizal
all
fungi.
right. Uh-huh.
And if they don't have the mycorrhizal fungi, then they'll just die.
So they need the mushrooms, the fungus.
Yes, yeah, the ones that
They grow underneath the soil?
the mycorrhizal ones is rhizal means root, so it's like the root fungus
Oh, right.
that helps with getting nutrients and stuff to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's certain invasive things like mustard garlic, which kill fungus, and so they also lead to all of the pine trees dying. In Toronto, it's a big problem.
Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't see any garlic mustard at your place.
What does it look like?
So it
It's not yellow, is it?
no, it has little white flowers.
Oh, right.
And you usually see it in the springtime. And if you take a leaf, it smells like something between mustard and garlic, and you can eat it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's bad for the trees. I know I have a neighbor who was just kind of like leaving it there. He didn't know what it was, and it killed all his pines.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it's something to watch out for.
Well, there's a lot to worry about.
Yeah. Well, and that's another reason why it's best to plant a polyculture, like different kinds of plants and animals. And
Yeah. So it balances everything off.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people. The reason that they want to live in the city or near the city is because they like all the social events, right? But if you had an intentional community of like say 50 to 60 people, then you'd actually be maxed out of socially.
You'd probably
you'd
have
be
more social events
so-
than you would in the city.
Yeah, you'd be totally satiated.
Yeah.
Like even probably with less, like even like 10 or 20 or whatever.
Well, and then they bring friends in too, and then there's a bigger social group as well.
Right,
so,
right, yeah. So that's kind of like in terms of bringing friends in. That's like the
I know that the Told, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
He was bringing up a point that he lives off grid, but the only thing he's lacking is the social element of living off grid. He's totally self-sustained, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why he was interested in the whole co-op thing.
Yeah. So the intentional community can definitely help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever are you in touch with him ever?
I think
I go down
he
8th,
called me.
I think?
Eighth will probably be faster than going down.
He called you, yeah.
Yeah, to say that there was not a renewable energy meeting.
Oh, there was supposed to be, right? Nobody announced anything. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, just that he doesn't have email.
A renewable energy meeting?
Yeah, because he's the renewable energy.
He was supposed to get in touch
chair.
with me about that. That's right.
Yeah.
He was. He was going to set one up. Was it a monthly thing?
It's supposed to be monthly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to set up a meetup for the bicycle committee, but I have lost the phone of my only committee member.
You only have one committee member. Oh.
Oh yeah. So,
Well,
yes, I've just been.
Well, if you have his name, maybe you can find.
Oh well, it's a her actually.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, no, I think it might just be on my other phone, so I'll have to check.
Okay.
Yep. She's new in town and she cycles.
Yeah, I know that Vitol has a lot of parts, solar parts, that he has a network of people that have all these like inverters and charge controllers and all that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that he wanted to sell. So I was just wanting to get in touch with him to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So if we just go straight, that will be faster.
Straight through? Lights?
Straight through, yeah. Straight through the lights, yeah.
That would be faster. It
Yes.
turns, does it?
Yeah, because we can turn on 3rd,
Okay.
and it's usually low traffic.
Well, yeah, you're on 3rd anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's the way I came when I came to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. This is a nice little park. Is it a park?
Yeah, it is a little park.
Is it a walking path that goes somewhere?
I'm not sure. No, I think this is the extent of the park.
Yeah.
The bigger one is this one, Queen's Park.
All right.
Yeah. There's I think there's some homeless people that hang out over there.
Yeah.
Mostly youth, homeless youth.
So there's a lot of drugs in this town, right? Like people
I don't-
abuse drugs. That's what I hear. That seems
I don't know.
to be
Maybe. I haven't met any,
No.
or maybe I have, but they
Well, it's
didn't.
probably the same as anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't like.
think it's a.
I don't judge.
No. I
So,
don't,
yeah.
But people always relate homeless people to drug abuse or alcohol abuse.
Oh, okay.
All that,
okay. Yeah, maybe. Could be related. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to.
But I think it's across the board. It doesn't matter if you're homeless. Not anybody can
Mhm.
be hooked on drugs.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, and a lot of it is because they don't have the basic needs met,
Yeah,
you know, and so they're not feeling too great.
that's right. That's basically it. That's true.
Hmm. So I mean, if they had their own like little plot and like their
Yeah.
own little community, and they could have, you know, they could feel like they're doing something if they're harvesting food. For
Yeah,
instance,
they
you
have
know?
purpose. Everybody
Exactly.
needs purpose in their
Or,
life.
like maintaining their home, or
Mhm.
looking after the kids, or who knows,
Exactly, or a garden,
or a garden. Yeah.
or building something.
Yeah,
Working
or-
with your hands.
Yeah, exactly. Or kind of tending to the tourists.
Yeah.
Or who knows? You know, there's so many different possibilities.
Whatever. Art is good,
Mhm.
is a good thing too.
Yeah.
Crafts, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking another kind of potential benefit of having like a spiritual community is that like the idea is that everyone can be like more or less kind of happy and joyful, and then that will just attract people to come there just to be surrounded by all these happy, joyful people.
But we did talk about this before, that about the cult thing, and are people, how are we going to keep away from people thinking, oh, that's a cult over there? Or,
Well, it's a new religious movement,
yeah, I know.
and
it only takes one person to spread the word, saying, oh, it's a cult.
well, it's just there's a difference in that the world-affirming new religious movements allow their members to, or encourage their members to communicate with other people.
With the other people, yeah. So that
Yeah.
way it brings people in, and
Exactly.
it's not secret.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. There's nothing
yeah,
secret about
Come,
it.
come see for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's
Yeah.
why there's tourism and all that other stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
have like an open house maybe, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean like it's a campground.
there's your
cooperative.
sign. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The eye.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that looks good. Where did you get that?
I got it on eBay. It was $5.